So he says, Vihine min shir ko masach an nizkar. So he says the name, the high. They said, Umishir kumas hamalchus. Shehi arbas spheres the zer anpin. So she's at the Tani of zer anpin. He says mitzatzel or echod. There one light comes out. Ne'etzel v'yored misham or echod. So it's coming from the very so he's explaining how it is that it's coming. It's coming from the four spot. They call it the 4 spot. You want maybe going to call it the 3 spot. The 4 spot up on the back of zer anpin. V'hu b'sod dalad oros. Shezecha be'orcha yored min hamalchus. Hu b'sod arba oros. Lesivos and iskeres, for the reason why we said. So he says v'hatam, and the reason is shaha'or hayored min hamalchus. Hu b'sod dalad. It's the secret of dalad. This is all the secret of the concept of dalad to begin with, how we understand the letter dalad. Hu machmas hasivach shehazkirach rav da'el shahanuk omedes keneged the dalad svir shazer anpin, that she stands against or opposite 4 places in zer anpin the ficha begama or yored b'mendel hu b'sod dalad. That's the reason why. She gets her light from zer anpin, and I guess when she's matched up with him, she gets her light that way. And therefore, that's really an essence of hers. So he said, so what happens is, the olam. He said, which is the secret of the Kislev, what is it? V'nignazim and hidden of it. So they could v'chanikroim rag ve'akise. Shehem kachba the olam Beriyah, which becomes is that the bottom part, the Tani of the of zer anpin, corresponding to that the nook, going into 4 slots in Beriyah. Becoming the top of Beriyah. On the Akroim kulam yachad b'shem heichel echad. They're all called one heichel. All of these, which are the kachbad, the olam Beriyah, nechlalim yachdav v'nikrayim b'shem heichel echad belvad. So I said the same thing again. Hanikra heichel kodesh gadashim, and that is called kodesh adachim. Shehu ha'cheichel hanikra kodesh gadashim. V'nechem bezecha b'tavin. Now you understand. Ki kamosha shachava mochin is there anpin the chatzilos heim arba. So just we have just arba mochim in zer anpin. He said v'chagdama zu yuven ki kashem hazer anpin the chatzilos mekabel arba mochim shehem choch b'bina chasadim b'gavurs the das. So he said v'heim b'bechinas atiferes and that's a chod yesod the bina ad yonis. So it comes out that this. Let's see what he means. Arba mochim shazer shahazam mekabel. Heim min Tani de'ima. They come from the Tani of ima, which is 4 slots also. So de'ima be'oven shachakaser shalo naasach mit Tiferet de'ima. O muach chochma shadocha naasach benetza de'ima muach abina. Shalo naasach melho de'ima muach adas shalo naasach mechisod de'ima. So another combination of a Tani. Let's see what else he says. So the malchus of so we have the same thing in the malchim of the malchus of Atzilus. Kain al zuha derek hu seder kabbalas hamochim shalom malchus the olam Atzilus. Nuk delay he hanuk shal zer anpin the olam Atzilus. So that is what heim arba shacham mochim shalonok the zer anpin also. The Atzilus, Heim Arba Mochim, are also 4 Mochim. So what we got here? V'heim Tiferet, netach chod yesod, the zer anpin, the Atzilus, v'heim na'asach b'tan, the zer anpin, the Atzilus, was supposed to say, made out of that. Boven shal keser shal anuk na'asim mit Tiferet, the zer anpin. The keser, the nook is, umuach ha'chochma shal anuk na'asim mit netzach, the zer anpin, is made out of the netzach of zer anpin. Umuach habina shal hanuk na'asach mahod the zer anpin, and umuach hadas shal hanuk na'asim yesod the zer anpin. So this is how she lines up with him. V'chein the mochim the olam Beriyah heim arba. So the mochim here are 4. V'chein hu b'chlalosh mochim shal olam Beriyah heim gam arba mochim. So he said, look, let's go to Tiferet, netach, hod, and yesod, the malchus, the atzilus, and they're made out of that. V'arbecha b'mochash olam Beriyah, na'asim mitani, the malchus olam atzilus. Sheyarta the olam Beriyah, v'na'asik b'olam Beriyah, arbecha mochim, and there it becomes 4 mochim. V'nimsiki arbecha b'oros ha'elu, v'nimsach, ha'elu, v'nimsach l'fizah, Ki arba oros elush hematani shal malchus the olam atzilus, hayordim the olam Beriyah, which go down there. Akise, they themselves become the kise. So the kise is an aspect of olam atzilus because it's made out of the Tani of the mochin of let's say the mochin of the Tani of the nook. So heim akise, mahuvim as a kise the Beriyah. That's what becomes that. So heim arba mochin the Beriyah. So they're the 4 mochin the Beriyah. Heim naasim arba mochin the olam Beriyah. Shem the kachba the olam Beriyah. Heim nishama nishmas Beriyah. So they're the panemius of Beriyah. Heim naasim bechin the nishama the olam Beriyah. Kach mochin the so nishama heim. Shaharech b'mochim heim chabad, shehem mochin the gadlus, v'heim na'asim the shama the partzuf hakadoshim. So what is it? They become, that's their nature. V'havein zehetiv, to understand that well, it gives us a blessed to understand how all of this comes out, the panemias of this works. So v'dekavein eich kol ha'bedrega v'cholomos. So now you should think about this, and all the lomos, heim b'seder echad shavit. How's this work? He said, so now you're saying the Kaddish. So we saw the Rishasha, what he was doing over there, not clear, any of it. So he said, V'kein tekavin ba'irvis HaKaddish, b'kol olam shabo shayach HaKaddish, every olam that is represented by Kaddish. That I guess he means like the Kaddish we're doing now between, at Hodu, right before Hodu, is really with Karbanos, I guess that's what he means. Kaddish is of call Hamadregos Aparatios, the Oza Olam, and all the different levels. Hech Bakal Olam Olam Yorde Matane Rabishal Olam Elyon. So then what happens? This is at the lower part of the upper world. Al Olam Shalamat, but when it comes down, it's the same rule. This is at the lowest part of the upper becomes the higher part of the highest part of the lower. Shalamata Ramenu. V'oven shechatani de ha'elyon na'aseh b'bechina d'shamach ha'olam ha'tachton. V'dav zeh na'aseh b'kol ha'olamos ha'medregel shekahu say the asiyasim ubiniyasim. That this is actually how they're built, and so on and so forth. V'afal pi sheb'dikunim amrav, even though the dikunim they say b'kursia b'shlosha sfiros. The kursias of the throne with 3 sfiros. V'ana amarna shehem arba. Wait a minute, we're saying there's 4 of them. B'im came kasha shadavi divich rav kan mevur she'ima yeredet the Beriyah b'im arba sfirosachim. Better defi divich tikunim ima yeredet rak al im shlosh sfirosachim. V'inyin hu v'yashuch v'stira bein divich rav the divich tikunim. Who is what? He said, "Beki spheres and das, and then ignaz in the olam becheshbon as the spheres kanoida. The das is really not part of the 10 spheres. Shespheres and das, and then ignaz becheshbon as the spheres kachav chagad naim. Shahare imadaz aim achadas esre spheres v'kuvarnis bar b'sefer yitzira eser v'lo echadas." So the vishahu ne'elam ma'od, because it's extremely hidden. He says the reason he's not saying that it's not there. He's saying that it's hidden. It's hidden in the mix. So he's like, that's where it's hidden. It's like a hidden river. For the chain kaven shasfiras adat ne'lemes ma'od v'hi yunuza bein hachma the bina, and it's hidden in between those 2 places. Lo his kirisham, so I guess their lights overpower it. I'm not sure what it means exactly. What it means exactly that it's hidden there still. Lo hizkira sham rak shlosh sefirot bavad. So that's the reason why we only mentioned 3. V'chein nizkar b'tikunim rak shlosh sefirot bavad shehem kaser chochma bina ach lo nizkara sefirot hadas v'chiyosek genuza v'necholamas and ma'od, because it's so hidden. Now this is a whole different idea about das than I think I had previous to reading this. Let's go on. But let's I thought he was going to say that das splits into 2, and I thought that that's 3 gets 4. I thought that's what he would say, but he didn't say that. He says that we don't count das because das is hidden. Okay. Aval arbahim. Amnam be'emes heim arbes spheres kachbat. Gam al tachshuv ki hatiferes netzachod yesod atman the malchus the tzilus. Heim hayardim is lavshin besod kise be'echel kodeh kadosh in the Beriyah kaniska. Don't think this, he says. Hine masha kasav arav le'el shatani the malchus the tzilus. Heim hayardim is lavshin besod kise be'echel kodeh kadosh in the Beriyah. Al tachshuv she'elchu be'oras atzman the Tani the malchus the tzilus. Heim hayardim be'echel kodeh kadosh in the Beriyah. Besod kisei. Don't think that, he says. Amnam heim orus nim shachem. But there you got a secondary line, because the real light of Itzilus, I guess he's saying, can't be held by Beriyah. The call mashin is bar shachatan lecha b'shachal the malchut Itzilus yored lecha the heichel kodeh kadosh the Beriyah. Besod kisei. Heim rock the orus anim shachem b'chatani. So it's not, as I said, that like it's an aspect of Itzilus. Meratani the malchut atzilus. Ak heim einem etzim atani the malchut atzilus. When asim mochim ba'olam abriya, and they become mochim ba'olam abriya, the Beriyah kanizker, as he said. V'ha'oraz anim shachem etani the malchut atzilus. Kasher heim yordim the Beriyah besod kisei, as they're going and thinking the kisei, heim na'asim mochim ba'olam abriya, they become the mochim. V'harei eich min Tiferet the netach yesod the zah the tzilus. This havu arbach oros, we creation here of 4 different lights. V'harei nimzam silu lam de midrash them ki me'atani the zer anpin the olam atzilus. This is what he's trying to say. Na'asim mehem arbach oros and meirim benot. There are 4 lights that shine from there. It's going to be a diffusion of the light to some extent. Would be go and shine there into the nook. Mochin the nukva, then now you have the mochin in the nukva, which is a lesser of a light than the light, I think, that we mean to say. It's a filtered out light than she got from Zeranpin. She'idaho arbach b'oros na'asa min Tani the Zeranpin the tzilus as adaveh him na'asim mochim al the nuk the Zeranpin the tzilus. V'chol mitzilus esses spheres of Shabbos, and then all of the mitzias of the 10 spheros that you have there. V'chein kol mitzias ha'esses spheres shal lenuk. Na'asim ma'oros atani the Zeranpin the tzilus are made out of that. We know how the process goes. L'vishal olam hu shir kumasu v'arbis spheres and niskarim. So that phrase means v'kevin shashir kumas amalchus nuk the Zeranpin, who minachazet the Zeranpin of the mata, which we call the Tani. Arbis spheres Tiferet netzach yesod the zah. V'chein gam mimeno nispashto, then also from that nispashto v'nischavach b'Tiferet netzach yesod shabah. It comes from her, also goes out from her. Arba oros, 4 lights come out from her too. So he says, Lefichol, therefore, gam b'chatani denuk nispashtim arba oros. So also you see, there's 4 lights come out from her. 4 lights from Zeranpin, 4 lights from actually it's Tavuna. We'll see later. It's a Tavuna. Comes at the bottom part of Tavuna, goes into Zeranpin, or let's Yisrosava Tavuna, let's say. So mispashtim arba oros. V'nislav shecha b'bechel kodeh kadosh and the Beriyah, and it gets clothed in there. V'arbachas ha'oros ha'yordim v'na'azim b'tani denuk v'tzilos. Those lights, heim yordim is lavshin b'echel kodeh kadosh and the Beriyah. So we have we have a light coming from Ima, we have a light going into Zeranpin, coming from Zeranpin, going into the Nook, going from the Nook down ha'aros. All of these are ha'aros to a certain extent. They're not the full light that was before them. Over Yadasach olam abriya heim na'asim sham b'chinas kisei. So that is what makes the kisei shal olam abriya. Shehi Nishmas Abriya, which is really the Panemius Abriya Kanizgar. It's the real connection. Shehi Bechinas Nishmas Olam Abriya. So let's say where we're at right now. Okay. So Ve'elo ha'arba ba'oris mi'irim ba'arba heicholosh ve'heichol kodegadosh b'nizgar. So then we say now we're getting our numbers worked out. Ve'elo ha'arba oris ha'yordim b'tan nechad ha'malchus d'cholam ha'tzilos. Hey mi'irim ba'arba heicholosh shal kodegadosh and d'cholam ha'briya. Ashech b'sod arba b'mochim shal briya. V'ofen sha'arba oros ha'mi'irim ba'arba heicholos the heichol kodegadosh and the briya. Shehem the kachbad, which also is the kachbad of Beriyah. Hem na'asim sod arba mochim sheyesh ba'olam ha'briya. So this now becomes the mochim. So you see the pattern of the force constantly moving on. V'hindach ashisha kitzvos the Beriyah. Now let's talk about the vok of Beriyah. V'achar kach ashisha kitzvos the Beriyah. Hem sheish sfiras chaga nai the Beriyah. Hem ashisha hechalos tachtoinim. There are the 6 lower hechalos. Heim Ramazin B'shisha Hechalos Atachtonu Sha'olam Abriya. Shehem what? V'harab Miva'arim Lamata Melamata Lamala. So here's the names of those, which I think he mentioned the steps before. He said Melivnas Hasapir, that's a lowish one. Sha'atachtam Anik Melivnas Hasapir, who yesod the olam abriya. So then Ad Hechel Haratzon, which is the top of that listing of steps. Kanava Elyon and Nikra Hechel Haratzon, who Tiferet the olam abriya. V'da ki Hechel Livnas Hasapir. So you have to know that this Hechel called Livnas Hasapir, and then the Rak Bechidas Yesod Belvad. We've had this in other places. It's not just Yesod. He said Hechel Nimsa Hocho, who Milamata Lamal is going upwards. Umevar Harav Ki Hechel HaNikra Livnas Hasapir, who and then a kola limo as spheres of malchus. It doesn't have along with it the spheres of malchus, but it does. Excuse me. Who and then Ella who ak v'rak bechidas yesod belvad lelo spheres of malchus. So he said, wait a minute. He said exactly not what I thought he was going to say. Mevar harav ki hechel anikra livnas asapir who and then kola imo as spheres of malchus. He says it doesn't. Elohu ak v'rak bechidas yesod belvad. I thought he was going to say something else. Lelo spheres of malchus. Hamakriya v'kolo min netach hanhod. And so this yesod is really balancing another balancer in the middle. A yesod hu machriya ben netach v'hod. V'hu kolo mishnechem. V'zechu livnas hasaper. So this is what livnas hasaper means. V'lechein the nikra ha'hechol yesod livnas hasaper. Lovan v'saper, it means whiteness, and saper, what is sapphire? Kevin shal yesod hu lovan v'saper. It's those two V'shar mem vav perik gimel who cause of the Rav shalivnas hasaper chayna netach. Shalivnas, is netach. V'chadira kavanas shanatzach b'tzad achesed hu lovan. V'saper hu hahod. Maybe a sapphire, I don't know. Maybe it's a sapphire. Ve'enena kasher tol rabim v'nachsho shehechol zeh kol yesod malchus. Well, I know he said not like that someplace else. Ve'ein l'tos b'zeh. K'fi sheto rabim lomer ki hechol livnas hasaper hu sfiras yesod im sfiras malchus imay. El livnas hasaper hu rak sfiras yesod levado. Kal malchus the Beriyah and then the remeda ba'olam ha'briya. So the malchus of Beriyah is not in Beriyah. So I think we're going to finish up here. I'm trying to get this is like just leading me on. So how does this work out? It has to be that the malchus is not part of the hechel livnas hasaper. And then the remeda ba'olam ha'briya. V'lechein lemenoisera behechel livnas hasaper v'lekola the rabim yesod. Avaravehi behechel kodegadosh and tzira. Kamosha cause for the ale, but that would be the same process. It would be there, but it would be a ha'ara from it, wouldn't it? Aman amalchus the olam ha'briya yeredet the hechel kodegadosh the olam tzira. Ki seder kol olamos hu kach. Ki malchus the olam ha'elyon hu bekaser the olam ha'shalamad mimen. Ki seder kol olamos hu ba'ofen Shal malchus shal olam ha'elyon yoredis mislavesha b'ketzer the olam hatachta mimen. Now he said previously that it's a ha'ara, or it's not the same light exactly. It's not the essence of the light, but he's saying that that's the okay. So whatever he calls who this is all. He says what? You read this in malchus, the read this in malchus the olam ha'elyon el olam hatachton. He says all of that. Let's go on just a couple of more because I'm running out of steam here. He said, this is about that same idea way back when. She goes down I think that's there's more in here. Okay, a little bit more. I'm sorry. Lihiyos Rosh L'Shoalim. So it'd be like the head of the lowest. She goes down and she's really the head. That's another phrase for that where she really belongs. As he became the son of the Arios. You read it in the Asa Kazba Olam Atachton Imanu as he Naasas Sham Bechinas Shem Rosh L'Shoalim. Okay, there's only one more here to do. Olam Shalamata B'Men V'Kevin Shah Olam Shalamata B'Men Nikro Ba'archa Shoalim. So Beriyah Olam Ha'elyon. A fox is like a little twisted, little creature, cunning. Olam Ha'elyon Nikro Arios. He says, the ficho b'hiyosin sfira achrona b'olam ha'elyon he nikra zon of the Arios. So if you read also the betachnin also sham sfira trans what it becomes nikras rosh hashwal. Okay, wow. Okay, that was a big piece today. Thank you very much for learning with me. Go to.